What's cracking, internet? Yep, you read the title right. Kuryakyn Soundbar install filmed like a year ago, I think. I learned something about editing something you filmed a year ago. It's hard. It's hard to remember what was in the video and what, so it took a lot of work, more than I should have just done it originally like I said I was going to. But I got an email last week, I think, asking if I was ever going to do it, and chances are I probably got an email the week before that, and it's one of my top questions I get is how I install mine, because I don't do it the way the instructions do. I did make a few mistakes the first time around. You'll see, I'll point them out to you in this video. I did make it right back when I wrecked my bike. I had to reinstall the soundbar on my new handlebars. You know, you should really keep up with the channel if you don't already. There's a lot of stuff going on here. It's been raining a lot though, so I figured it's a good time. I don't have much to film because it's so slow. It's a good time to do a throwback to last year. For those of you that don't know me, my name is John Maxwell. I'm a highly trained unprofessional right here at Heritage Harley Davidson. And on this channel, I bring you guys to work with me. So if you want to learn more about Harley Davidson, you should hit the subscribe button right now. So before I install it, let's unbox it. It is linked down in the description. I went with the satin black, but they do offer a satin silver if you don't want the black version. In the box, you get a tiny bag of things, detailed instructions, the soundbar itself, another tiny bag of screws and things, handlebar mounts of various sizes so it'll fit 7/8 to 1 1/4 inch handlebars, and finally mounts for the speaker itself. Now for the way I install this, I mentioned earlier that it's a little different than the instructions. I use part number 692015999 Alpha for my 18 Softail. And it is going to be a series of wires and connectors to make this a plug-and-play system rather than a splice and straight to battery system. You'll see more in a second. To start off, I am only concerned with the actual wire harness because that's going to be the first thing that I route. I want to make sure my idea is actually going to work before I actually mount this thing to the handlebars. So I have to route that harness through this hole, inside the frame, down the frame, out the back side, and hooked to the electrical connector I'm going to install right in this general region right here. Now I have already kind of checked the soundbar, make sure it does fit between my handlebar rise, between each handlebar. Let's run this harness. This fused portion is going to present a problem when routing it as well. It just so happens though that electrical kit I'm going to use that Harley offers, it's fused, so I don't need it anymore. For the record, the fused kit from Harley, it's a 10 amp fuse, this is a 10 amp fuse, I'm good to go. During this section of the video, I'm actually wrong, but I can make it right now. Now you see me feeding the entire harness through the top clamp of the forks. This is actually not the way you want to do it. The connector on the end of this is extremely hard and won't fit through that hole. However, the speaker side of this connector is soft enough to maneuver through that little hole. This is model dependent on which bike you have. Something that I messed up the first go round, but I've since corrected. To get the wire through the inside of the frame, I've got 2 really long zip ties taped together. I just feed it through here. Pull it back through in just a second. Now it's just a matter of taping this harness up. Careful not to pull too much of my zip tie out of there. Tape this thing up super tight. Alright, I'll leave all that stuff loose up in here so that I can officially route it in a second. Wire in that Harley kit real quick. All right, it's routed. I gotta bust out some solder. So this is my solder setup. I made these little clips that help me hold the wires together. Solder the two together, making sure I got my heat wrap on there already. And that way I can just slide it all back over, put the heat gun to it, make it look all nice and pretty. I'm going to interrupt this portion of the video really quick. I'm not really going into detail about this harness that I use. That's kind of by design because every model needs a different harness. So I'm going to throw some stuff up on the screen straight from the Harley Davidson website. What I do when I install these is I do what Kuryakyn wire colors need, but then I install it like you would the Harley Davidson Bluetooth speaker setup. That is not as good, I might add. It actually costs more money too. Sorry Harley, it's just the way it is. So really quick, I'm gonna throw it up on here. The 14 liter XL, 12 to 17 Dyna, and 11 to 17 Softail models require a separate purchase of electro connection kit, part number 72673-11. Now, 14 to 16 Road Kings and Road King Special and require electrical connection kit part number 692000722, an 18 liter Softail and Road King and electrical connection kit part number 692001599 Alpha. Hope you guys understand that. It's kind of, yeah. The electrical connection kit is actually required for a lot of Harley Davidson branded accessories. It's just part of basically how you make a bunch of stuff plug and play into the model that you have. So that's the kit I use. Now we'll get back to the install. So this is where we're at right here. This little connector is part of that extra harness that I used, and I zip tied it so it won't get in the way of the shot. With the harness installed and routed up to the triple tree, I can now install the speaker. I mentioned earlier that the fitment for the harness it's not plug and play because it fits like anything that you want to put it on. Part of what makes that possible is all of the different handlebar mounts that they send for different size bars, and the way the actual soundbar mounts inside this bracket, and the little swivel job that they have right here makes it where no matter what the shape of your handlebar is, like the bends and everything, you'll be able to bolt it up. You can mount these loops to the bracket at the handlebar and then slide the soundbar in, or mount the soundbar in the brackets and then bolt them to the clamps. I do the soundbar to the brackets like this. I always try to set it where the brackets aren't going to cover up any of the words. Just try to even up the space in the grill and whatnot. It just makes it look a little better, in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and start my little set screws, and we'll just go to the bike. With all that set up and ready, I move everything over to the bike and we'll do the rest. So in the little bag of things from earlier in the video, they had the transparent like paint protector, basically is what this stuff is, and it's so that you don't scratch your handlebar while you mount this speaker up. In my opinion, it's not quite big enough to like keep from like actually protect the bar from the clamp and all that jazz. So I've actually stolen some post-it notes from the front counter, and hopefully it is going to kind of sort of help me from scratching these brand new handlebars. I've never actually installed these on a black set of bars. It's always chrome, which isn't nearly as big of a concern. Now, I got a little bit of shake in there, but that little bag of things, they include a little Allen key as well that you can't see because it won't focus. For delivery. I guess it's done. I think I skipped a step. I should really start reading the instructions. So the top bolt came installed in the package. I forgot that it was still loose. So now with the set screws tight, it's on there. Ha! There you go, guys. That is my year-old video. At the time of receiving the soundbar, I actually did just a review. I didn't do the install. You can check out the review probably right about here. And if you want to see more content from me, make sure to hit the subscribe button, tap the bell notification so you know when I upload. And there's probably another video right about here. So I'll catch you guys in the next one.